I'm going to cover exactly how to start the carnivore diet from beginner to intermediate and all the way to advanced. I'm also going to provide you with a diet transition option if going from what you're currently doing now to any of the three levels that I'm about to cover feels like too big of a leap, as well as how to reintroduce foods after your issues resolve themselves if that's something that you're interested in. If you're new here, my name is Marcus. I've lost over 60 pounds and I've been helping busy folks lose fat and get healthy for 13 years now. Let's get into it. The carnivore diet entry point or beginner level consists of meat, fish, seafood, eggs, dairy, herbs, and spices, as well as coffee if you like it as much as I do. If your goal is to lose weight and or clear up autoimmune issues and level 1 does that for you, awesome. You are good to go. On the other hand, if you do not achieve the body composition and or autoimmune remission results that you're after, you can move to the intermediate level, which consists of meat, fish, seafood, salt, and pepper. So level 2 eliminates coffee, dairy, eggs, as well as most herbs and spices. Why? Coffee does not impair fat loss. It contains essentially 0 calories, but it can irritate the gut and therefore the immune system. Dairy tends to cause autoimmune issues for a lot of folks, and eggs are a fairly common culprit as well. In terms of fat loss, dairy might not be your friend, especially the full fat versions. And if you're interested in learning about the 3 reasons why, you can watch the video that I linked below. Now, what about herbs and spices? Things like garlic and onions specifically are very common digestive disruptors for a lot of folks, and digestion is the linchpin for autoimmune disease. Also, there are certain spices like cinnamon and turmeric that are fairly high in oxalates. We're just playing it safe and eliminating any potential problems that might pop up with these things. If you reach your goal and ride off into the sunset via level 2, unreal, I'm stoked for you. But if you do not, you can move on to level 3. Level 3 consists of red meat, salt, and water, otherwise known as the lion diet. The carnivore diet, and more specifically the lion diet, is the most powerful tool for autoimmune disease, period. It's honestly incredible. Having said that, a lot of folks don't need to go all the way to the advanced end of the carnivore diet spectrum in order to see the benefits that they're after. However, some folks do, and the only way to find out whether you are one of those people is to go through this process. How long should you do each level before moving on to the next one? 3 to 4 weeks is a solid chunk of time. But if you know for certain that something is causing issues for you, there is no reason to wait to eliminate it from your diet. For example, if you're a week into level 1 and you've noticed that every time you eat cheese, let's say, your stomach hurts and your nose starts running, don't wait another 2 to 3 weeks to eliminate dairy. Just do it now because you know for certain that it's not working for you, and that goes for any food or food group. What about the food reintroduction process? So when should you do that if that interests you? In the case of fat loss, I would recommend maintaining your goal body weight for at least 30 days, but more ideally 60 days before you start to reintroduce other foods. In the case of autoimmunity, I would recommend being completely symptom-free for a minimum of 60 days, but more ideally 90 days before reintroducing foods. Now, when that time comes, I would recommend reintroducing foods one at a time. And I know that sounds tedious, but it's the only way to do this effectively. For example, let's say that you made it to level 2 and you want to reintroduce both eggs and dairy. The reason you don't want to throw them back into the mix at the same time is because you might be intolerant to one, the other, or both. But you can't know that unless you test them one at a time. And the truth is that reintroducing foods one at a time is actually a massive time saver in the big picture. Because reintroducing too many foods at the same time just becomes confusing, and then you're just gonna have to go all the way back to step 1 again, so you might as well just do it properly from the get-go. If the beginner level carnivore diet sounds overwhelming right now, I would recommend starting with what's called an animal-based diet. This is where I personally started. I did not go carnivore right off the bat, and an animal-based diet is essentially a beginner level carnivore diet with the addition of fruit. And for some folks, this is often just a lot more manageable from a psychological standpoint, because going from what they're currently doing now all the way to a carnivore diet is just too big of a jump mentally, and that's okay. Also, an animal-based diet allows for some fruit, which can ease the transition from using primarily carbohydrates for fuel to fat for fuel as you taper your carbohydrate intake down. Now, if you implement an animal-based diet and you reach your goal body composition and or achieve autoimmune remission, go no further. You can just continue rolling with that if you'd like. For me personally, animal-based improved my autoimmune symptoms, but it didn't completely clear them up, so I needed to go further down the line. If even animal-based feels like too big of a stretch right now, just start eating more meat, fish, seafood, and eggs. Chances are that eating more of those foods is going to crowd out a lot of the processed food in your diet because they're so nutrient dense and satiating, and as a result, you get healthier. A few more quick lifestyle recommendations. Hit 10,000 steps per day or 70,000 over the course of the week as a whole. Movement is key. Sleep 7 to 9 hours per night and make sure that you're waking up feeling rested and alert every day, ideally without an alarm. Also, seek out community, even if it's online. And I mention this because carnivore is a fairly extreme diet, relatively speaking, compared to how most folks eat. And so community is a really powerful tool that you can use to your advantage on your health journey because there are more and more folks implementing this stuff every single day. Feel free to thumbs up, subscribe, and if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments below.